Crocodile, a man who had a dream, a man who is filled with mystery. If there is anything we know, he is a man who has traveled the seas and has fought many monsters. Crocodile, a man who has recently found his passion to chase his dream again. And then there is him, Doflamingo, a man who has no chill, a man who rules the world, a man who controls the monsters. Doflamingo. It has been a debate for ages. Who is the best villain? Is it Doflamingo or Crocodile? Today I'll be going over who I believe is the best/worst villain when compared to the respective arc. Doflamingo or Crocodile. Now, to determine the winner, I broke it down into 5 categories. Let's start off with the 5th category, the Devil Fruit Power. Now, in this category, I am not going off which power looks cool or which was just hacks. This will be based off on how difficult it was for Luffy to fight against the respective enemy. The Ito Ito no Mi, Doflamingo was hard to defeat, and not to mention, Dofi is a awakened Devil Fruit user. Luffy had to go through some stuff with Doflamingo, it costed Law's arm, and the power was also very useful for Doflamingo to go around the island. Crocodile, the Sunasuna no Mi. Luffy had a stressful, painful, and just an all-out tired fight with Crocodile. 3 rounds! Luffy managed to out-defeat Crocodile in the final moments of round 3. Crocodile's powers made Luffy use all his powers, making Luffy to think offensively, defensively, and special moves. The winner of this category is an easy pick to me. Crocodile. Having your main character fight in 3 rounds in which Luffy was very tired, beat up, he managed to pull a victory over Crocodile. Moving on to category number 4, the Aftermath. When hearing Doflamingo has been taken down, what were the results of the world? Let me ask you the same question, but with Crocodile. What were the results? The shocking news of Doflamingo being defeated was spreading like wildfire. East Blue heard the news on this same day, somewhere around midnight of course. But not only that, as it was stated from Caesar Clown back in Punk Hazard, if you take down Dofi, Monkey D. Luffy, one of the 4 Yonko will be after you. Not only that, but the entire underground business too. Crocodile. At the same time, Crocodile was the most feared warlord. He was someone who has pirate history, known for going after big name pirates, and not only that, Crocodile was a man who is said to be very powerful. Luffy defeating Crocodile sent shockwaves throughout the entire Grand Line. But let's be realistic here. Nobody in the New World really gave 2 shits about Crocodile being defeated. Nobody didn't even give 2 shits. However, people were stunned that someone like Luffy, who quote-unquote looks like an idiot, can take down Crocodile. The results were basically Luffy's name being known throughout the world. As for this category, it is a difficult pick, but I have to go with Doflamingo. I think now that Luffy has traveled into a new, dark and dangerous sea, things are more and more going to shake the heavens, and Doflamingo was someone who controlled the balance of the New World. Now that Luffy has taken out Doflamingo, the monsters have awakened from sleep. Yes, Monkey D. Luffy has angered the monsters. Category number 3 was really hard, but I now have the answer. Who deserved revenge more? Doflamingo had killed Corazon, somebody that loved Law. Now, love is not the right word to use here, but Law and Corazon were friends, and Law looked up to Corazon as an older brother or some sort. Crocodile had taken over a kingdom, causing the kingdom to lose almost 1,000 soldiers and more. Crocodile then proceeded to kidnap and hurt the king. A very difficult pick to make, but I believe Doflamingo deserved revenge more. Law had plans to kill Doflamingo for almost 12 years. 12 years of hate, lost love, and misery. The winner of this category goes to Doflamingo. Category number 2, the villain's goal. Doflamingo had taken over a country, was king for a long time, and has successfully become the king of the underground marketplace. Dealing weapons, drugs, powers, information, and so much more, Doflamingo was successful until Luffy had arrived. Crocodile. organizing maybe one of the top 5 strongest organizations in One Piece today. Barku works. It was noted in a SBS that if the world government knew about this, Crocodile's bounty would be much higher. Crocodile's plan was not simple, but Crocodile had complete 90% of his goal. Get rid of the princess, pretend to be a good guy in Alabasta, start a war with the rebel army and the royal army. And last but not least, control the rain powder. That 10% that was left for Crocodile to complete his goal was the one and only Luffy. For this category, I'm going with Doflamingo. The final category, their importance to the story. Now, there is no denying that Doflamingo knows something about the great treasure of Marijoa. He only has connections with the higher power of the world government, and not to mention some of the Yonkos. But what about Crocodile? Crocodile's dream was to become the Pirate King. Unfortunately, he gave up his dream when Whitebeard defeated him, humiliated him, and made him feel alone. But what made Crocodile going back to find One Piece? Luffy. After getting his ass kicked so hard, he had a feeling of what it felt like to chase your dream. Looking at Luffy, Crocodile saw an image of him, a dream chaser. And so if you ask me, the more important character is Crocodile. He was once a dream chaser, suddenly he lost the passion to become a pirate, but seeing Monkey D. Luffy, Crocodile wants to chase his dream one more time. Right now, I believe Doflamingo is the better villain. However, my opinion might change in the near future. Ladies and gentlemen, these are my thoughts and these are my arguments or whatever, my opinion. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, and if you're new, if you could please subscribe, that would be really great. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm AMA Fan Talk, signing off.